Alrighty. Today, oh, Skylar's taking a poop. Today we are at the DeSoto Streamway Dog Park. I brought my dog. Where is he? Right there. And today we're going to take some pictures. The camera I will be using today is the Canon EOS M50. See right there. And then paired with this, I have a Canon EF 70 to 200 millimeter. This is an f4, but it actually shoots at like f2.8. So getting the camera set up, we'll first unscrew the lens hood, take off the cap and put it in my pocket so I don't lose it. Screw on lens hood and throw on the camera strap so we don't lose the camera. Skylar is just vibing. We're gonna try to get some pictures of him running and just some other cool scenic pictures. I also took some pictures yesterday at a farm of some camels and some other animals. That was really cool, and I'll throw those pictures in and maybe show how to edit those. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alrighty. So we can't leave the bag anywhere. Good thing about this bag is it opens from the back. So photography bags are good when they open with the back facing you, not on the front. Adds a little bit more protection, as well as just being a lot nicer to work with. I want to keep our f-stop as low as possible. So that's what's going to be when we take a picture of Skylar. It's going to focus him in the picture. And then when I take the picture, everything else around it's going to be a little blurred out. It's going to have a depth of field, you can kind of tell. Try to get him to come running. A little bright, but we can always fix this kind of brightness in the editing. I think we can go down to ISO 400, and then we'll be chilling. We should go auto ISO actually. Makes it a lot easier. That's what I like doing. I like having a lot of auto settings, but also having a lot of settings that aren't auto. Partially because messing with all your settings all on the go, most professional photographers will do that, but just a beginner like myself, I'm not going to be spending a lot of time trying to worry about every little setting, every little thing, when I can just shoot in RAW, which I'll talk about next, and just get easy photo. He's already having fun. I have tried not to step in dog poop. Oh, I think I stepped in dog poop. Yep. Dang. That sucks. So. Okay, so shooting in RAW versus shooting in JPEG or HMEI like on your iPhone. So shooting in RAW gives you access to edit literally every aspect of the photo. Like it's like a 60 million color ratio thing you can edit. So it really gives you the opportunity to take a bad photo and make it good as long as you have the RAW file. But it actually makes you have to go in and edit the photo. So you get a practice editing photos and making it, you know, better. Getting to practice your editing style. That's what Rock gonna get, he might come. I'm gonna go down here. I had the settings set up just right though, which sucks. And we got some cool pictures of him running. Oh, they're a little out of focus. That's one thing, and I'm still not a perfect photographer, but I do like practicing and making my photo editing good. It's nice that you come to a place like this and just let him explore on his own. He's not gonna go do anything he's gonna get in trouble for. Okay, but you need to stay out of there. One of these photos has got to be pretty good. Oh, these are pretty cool. And then another thing about being a photographer is just kind of like, you have to have a creative eye or something that you know is going to catch attention. I'll throw a picture on the screen. It's a picture of a cat with some green eyes that I took a picture of at a farm yesterday. Cat, the eyes were not as green as I made them look in the picture, but I made them look really green in the picture because it shows how green they were in person. Kind of brings it out more than just thinking about, oh, it's just a cat with green eyes. Oh, it's a cat with green eyes. It's that kind of creative aspect that you just kind of have, you get to have your own image of what it should look like. You get to edit the picture how you think looks good. I mean, if other people don't think it looks good, then obviously it's probably not that good of an edit, but I've gotten multiple compliments on my green eyes so far, so those usually go really well. Photography is very, very relaxing. It's something you can just go do and go outside, connect with nature, and not really think about anything when you do it. I'm gonna take him home. We'll throw the SD card into the computer and we'll go from there and try to figure out if we can edit these photos, if they're gonna be good to save, which ones can be good to save, which ones can we publish on the Instagram, maybe get some clout from Skylar because it's kind of a cute dog. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys when we're about to edit some photos. Now that we're home, we can put the SD card into the computer. Alrighty, now that we are in the computer, we can start looking at all the photos that we have taken today. So let's start at the beginning. I usually go through and just look, see which ones I kind of like before I even start editing, because we're only going to edit a couple photos out of all of these actually. Alright, so now what we're going to do is sort by tags. Should be able to go find all of our ones with tags. We're going to select these ones and we're going to open. What this is going to do is open them into Lightroom. Lightroom is what we're going to be using to actually edit the photos. You can use Photoshop, you can use other platforms, but Lightroom is the best for photo editing. Alright, this one, such a cool picture. We're going to start off by cropping it down so he's in the center of the shot. We also want there to be a little bit of leading room, but above him we can go down a little bit. There we go, centered shot. Maybe a little bit over, a little bit more, get his face centered. There we go. His ears. I like to change the profile to Adobe Landscape. And then we'll see if any of my presets will be able to make him look better. That one already makes him look better. The idea of editing is that you can make it a lot easier by setting presets that if you know you're shooting at the right settings on your camera, you know you can just implement the right preset, and you can do it to almost all the photos. If you shoot them in near the right settings to what you should shoot at when you did the preset, then you will be able to use that preset for all those photos. It makes editing a lot faster, and you get a style that's similar on all of your photos if you're shooting in the same place for all the photos. So this one looks pretty good. I'm also going to go up here to golden hour and look at some of these. These are just different kind of editing styles. I'm kind of thinking of a more, I kind of want a more moody vibe, so I want to do a very edited type of photo. I do like some of these, and I think we could work with one of these. And by the way, this golden hour, bunch of these presets I bought previously from Pinterest, kind of something that you can do from other photographers that make a bunch and you can just plug them into your own thing. It's like very inexpensive to do, but it saves a lot of time when you're editing photos. So we're gonna go on one of these that we kind of like. You have to look at all of them, though. Yeah. I'm mainly just looking for a good color combo that we can add. I like the color combo on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this. Then we're going to go over here to mask. And we're going to mask the subject, Skylar right here. And then what we can do is we can lighten him, make him pop out from that dark preset, that moody background, and kind of make him just beam out of the photo. Because we want the attention to be on him. Next gonna do is go over to the light settings. Now you don't have to edit these all that much. You don't have to be good at this. You just want to go into what your eye can see is good. Always make sure your brightness is up all the way. And what's this? This is just editing Skylar. So our subject. This is not editing any other part of the photo. This is simply just making the center of the attention in the photo what we're editing. So if we start here, I'll reset all of these. Let me just reset. All right, we're going to start with the light. The light settings really adjust the subject here. So for instance, exposure, you go a negative exposure, it's going to make the subject really dark. Keep it in the middle, it's going to be exactly how you shot it. Now if you come up, you're going to see that it goes up. And you can also see that up the top here by my mouse is the histogram. It's kind of, you can see the lines of the colors. Now, the lines of the colors don't make sense to a lot of people. What you want is the lines to be either like this when they're as even as possible, or you want them to be flat across the whole way, right in the center. The tip of it, the highest point is right in the center, and all of it levels out. That's the cleanest type of histogram you can have. Now with this picture right here, we don't want to go too bright, because you can see if we go too bright, it's too bright for the photo, for what we're trying to go for. So right about there brings enough light in to center the attention on him, even though there's nothing else in the background, still centers the attention on him. And then we'll bring the contrast out to let his back fur kind of brighten up a little bit. A lot of these sometimes don't actually change the image that much at all, but you still mess with them, still see if they're gonna fix it. Brighten him up just a little bit. It's getting to the point where it's almost too edited, in my opinion, but we're making him look good. And you can also see if you go too bright, it's gonna make him look like he's outlined, so you don't want to do that. You want to make it just sparkle enough so he still has a little hint of there we go. Here again we have the histogram. You can see how this photo when I shot it was mainly in the center, so right now after the editing that I've done, I've kind of just centralized the light and the colors so they're all going towards the center. So messing with this line, you can see you go higher, Skylar becomes brighter. You go lower, becomes darker. So with the histogram, Command Z to go back to reset it, is we can kind of brighten him in ways that we can't with exposure and contrast. And it looks a lot more natural because you're bringing the light in from a direction. We can see the lights coming at him at the front almost, kind of from the left going up to his face right where his tags are. So we want to make that light almost bounce from over there. Oops. Alrighty, that looks just good. Next, let's move on to temp. Temperature on him, we shouldn't have to move too much. Just +4 is going to be plenty for me to feel like he is in a good balance. Tint, again, shouldn't be needing to move too much. You move it too much, it's going to make him look funny in the picture. Should be good. Look at that. So I think we're going to stay right about there. We're going to match the back pretty good. Hue, we're not going to mess with hue when we're editing a subject like this. He's got too many colors going on, too many things bouncing off of him, and it's not too much in focus, so I'm not confident enough on using the hue. In saturation, it's not going to affect him too much unless we go low. We don't necessarily need it too high or too low because when we took the photo, the light was already decently centered on him. So just like that, we have almost finished this photo. So going down to effects. You don't need to mess with the texture that much. It's going to make your photo look kind of grainy. Now, there's definitely instances where you want that. In this type of photo, I'm looking for a nice, crisp photo I can post on Instagram for people to go like. The more engagement you get, the more customers that can come to you. The whole business scheme. Clarity, same thing. You don't really want to mess with this too much. It doesn't make the photo look any much better after you produce it. So in my opinion, I don't usually edit it. And then dehaze, again, doesn't necessarily affect too much. He was a little bright. That was the only reason, because we kind of weren't in focus all the way. So I can fix it going like this. And then the grain, again, grain's going to be that grainy feeling. But kind of like if you crank grain and texture up, it looks very kind of like scrapbook-esque. And we don't want that. We're trying to do an Instagram photo. Instagram nowadays, you want to be 4K, 1080p, everything. And then that same thing down in detail. It's almost the same thing as the texture and the grain. I'm not going to mess with that much of it because we don't need to. All right, now we're going to make a mask of the background. So everything where Skylar is not. We don't want to brighten it up too much because the photo already looks pretty dang good. I think just 0.24% is going to be just enough. Now I'm going to go through this real quick. I'm going to speed it up in the video editing, but this will kind of finish out how we're going to do it, and we're going to edit the exact same way that we just edited the center. However, we're going to put less attention to how bright the background is versus how bright the subject is, but we also don't want to overdo the background, overdo the subject, vice versa. Alrighty. I think we have finished the first edit that we're going to do. What we're going to do now is we're going to copy the editing settings from this. And we're going to see what it looks like when we add them on to the photo that's from the exact same area that we shot. These photos were pretty much back to back. But let's see what it does. Alrighty. So what I did is I went in to this photo, the first photo that we edited. I copied all of the masking settings over, and we got the exact same photo that we can post back to back. So there's no discrepancies in color. Everything's going to look the same. Skylar's going to look the same. The photo looks the same. But now we can go in and we can edit this photo down just a little bit. We want this one to stay decently far. But you can also see, I mean, you can edit the photos in. And they look great. And then again, before, after, before, after. So this is definitely very edited, but it looks great. Now I have finished editing all of the photos that we went out and took today. I only edited 5, but here are the edits. And they're all edited the same way. I just use the same editing format on all of them. So as you can see from those pretty easy steps, almost anybody can get onto an editing wheel and just edit until your eyes like it. If it's visually appealing to your eyes, then you did a good editing. Now to export the photos from Lightroom down to your computer. So you start on File, and you click Export. And we're going to name this Skylar. And we're going to add the date. I'm going to include my watermark because I plan on posting these on my Instagram. We actually have to select all of them. Alright, so export. We're going to name it Skylar and the date. We're going to start on 1. We're going to include the watermark. Output sharpening. We're going to go screen, amount high, and we will create a new folder on the desktop underneath our portfolio. And export. And there we go. And that is basically how you take a photo, edit a photo, and publish a photo from start to finish. Now the next step is only to publish these to Instagram or Facebook or another site like your website.